What is diversity training? Diversity training is a professional training program designed to facilitate positive intergroup interaction across different diversity types to reduce prejudice and discrimination, and generally teach individuals who are different from others how to work together effectively in a business or team environment. Diversity training in an office environment addresses all of the unique things about employees, culture, education, gender expression, religion, indigenous, race, color, ethnicity, language, nationality, sexual orientation, religion, gender, socio-economic status, age, and physical and mental disability, and the manner in which we work together. This goes beyond being politically correct and moves into the realm of learning how to embrace differences among employees and including the valuable inputs and perspectives all employees bring to your company. The objective of diversity training is to increase participants' racial, cultural, different diversity type awareness, knowledge, and communication. Diversity training can have lots of benefits to an organization by helping to prevent civil rights violations, increasing the inclusion of different identity groups, promoting better teamwork, and many more benefits in an inclusive environment. The main goal of a successful diversity training program is to create a positive work environment by helping employees recognize and be tolerant of differences among co-workers. Why is diversity training important and why you should train your team? Diversity training is an area of growing interest within organizations. As organizations and society become more culturally, gender, age, religions, diverse, there is a need to provide training across all hierarchical levels to make individuals more aware of and sensitized to elements of difference. Managing and valuing diversity is becoming increasingly important to delivering higher levels of performance and creativity, enhancing problem-solving and decision-making, and gaining cultural insights into domestic and overseas markets. Diversity training also addresses how different people are represented in everything from the literature and marketing materials of a company to the diversity training materials themselves. Diversity training in organizations represents a growing and important area of research and practice. Globalization, employee mobility and an emphasis on finding skilled employees means that organizations can no longer afford to neglect diversity issues. Working across different linguistic, cultural and social contexts requires organizations to embed diversity at the heart of internationalization strategies. It challenges organizations to confront insular, discriminatory attitudes and values and adopt a more open, inclusive organizational environment which respects and safeguards difference. What are the different types of diversity and inclusion training? There are many kinds of diversity training, each type has a different goal or to a different audience. According to Harvard, there are two types of effective diversity training in the workplace. There are two different types of diversity training. Diversity setting with perspective taking is essentially the process of mentally walking in someone else's shoes. Results from our experiment involving 271 undergraduate students showed that taking the perspective of LGBT individuals or racial minorities, by writing a few sentences imagining the distinct challenges a marginalized minority might face, can improve pro-diversity attitudes and behavioral intentions toward these groups. Alternatively, diversity training with goal setting can be successfully adapted by asking diversity training participants to set specific, measurable, and challenging goals related to diversity in the workplace. For example, a trainee might set a goal to challenge inappropriate comments about marginalized groups when overhearing them in the future. Diversity training for staff awareness in the workplace. These types of training are training that is typically offered, or mandated by the employer to everyone in the workplace. An example would be a positive space training that communicates and educates staff about different gender identification, sexual orientation, and romantic orientation. There are many other diversity and inclusion topics that can be trained too. Another example of such staff awareness training is to educate the staff about different religions or even caste systems so staff are aware of them. Other diversity training topics or courses are respect, unconscious bias, cultural competency, civility, sensitivity, creating an inclusive workspace, preventing discrimination and harassment. There are many more. If even your minority employees are happy, you have high employee satisfaction, which leads to higher customer satisfaction. Diversity training for diversity leaders. Diversity leadership training in the office is for those who lead diversity leadership programs. They are usually managers, directors, or senior executives for diversity and inclusion. Some of these training will include: provide field-based opportunities to analyze diversity and inclusion problems of practice and use multiple frames to develop meaningful responses, draw on and develop a critically reflective professional knowledge base that integrates both practical and research knowledge and that links theory with systemic and systematic inquiry, and emphasize the generation, transformation, and use of critically reflective professional knowledge and practice. Business schools or diversity specialists do provide such training. Diversity training for the hiring managers. Another type of diversity training is for hiring managers. An organization cannot become diverse by only educating everyone, they need to hire for diversity. I wouldn't suggest hiring managers to hire for diversity for the sake of it. They should hire for the best person without having diversity or discriminations in the way of doing that. Methods of delivering diversity training. Usually there are three main methods for training delivery. Face-to-face, usually more available to an in-house training team. More than 50% of scheduled class time is at a location like an office location or face-to-face. Hybrid online, it means some training is via online methods and others as face-to-face. It works very well in some companies so students get to have face-to-face interaction with the trainer and at the same time can have some in-depth learning on their own. Fully online, 100% of scheduled class time is online. It is the lowest cost method of training a large amount of staff, but there should be some forum to allow discussions. I hope you like this video about diversity training, and if you do, please like our video or subscribe to our channel.